Have you ever felt like life is testing you in the hardest ways? Each day brings a shocking new reality that forces you to rethink everything. Imagine waking up one morning to realize every fear you've avoided, every truth you've run from, has become an inescapable reality. Pain is present, loss is certain, chaos surrounds you from every direction. How will you react? Will you crumble under life's cruelty, or will you stand firm, accepting what's beyond your control? This isn't a philosophical question, it's a pivotal crossroads. You have two choices: remain trapped in delusion or face the brutal truth head-on. The Stoic philosophers weren't ivory tower thinkers. They were soldiers, emperors, slaves, men and women who endured extreme conditions yet refused to let them break their spirit. In this video, I won't feed you illusions of easy happiness. Instead, I'll share 8 painful truths that will hurt at first but free you in the end. Brace yourself. This journey won't be comfortable, but it's necessary. If you find something here worth reflecting on, something that shifts your perspective, don't forget to support this content with a like, subscribe, and share. Your simple act might reach someone who needs these words right now. Second stop, living by others' expectations. How often have you felt not enough because you didn't meet others' expectations? How many times have you looked in the mirror and seen not self-acceptance, but a reflection poisoned by judgments from society, family, or friends? The problem isn't you. It's the idea of living by standards you didn't set. Others' expectations are invisible chains. They create a mold for who you should be, and when you don't fit, you're left feeling guilty, inadequate, or unworthy. Pause and ask yourself, who are you living for? Whose approval are you chasing? Have you spent your life running after an image someone else painted for you? Why? Because you fear rejection? Because you believe your worth depends on their satisfaction? No one in this world knows you as you do. No one feels what you feel, thinks as you think, or carries your unique fears and dreams. Yet you force yourself into prefabricated molds like a misplaced puzzle piece jammed where it doesn't belong. Epictetus put it simply: if you want to be free, don't let others control you through your desire to please them. The moment you make others' approval your metric, you live in a prison. Even if you think you're free. How often have you acted inauthentically to avoid criticism? Hid your true thoughts for fear of being misunderstood? Made decisions you didn't want just to avoid disappointing someone? But how long will you live a life that isn't yours? How long will you postpone your truth for an ideal image others demand? Will you spend years hesitating, afraid to take a step they might disapprove of? Or will you decide here and now to stop seeking validation from a world that will never be satisfied? Instead of exhausting yourself to fit their expectations, free yourself. Live by what your heart believes in, what lets you sleep peacefully, what makes you feel aligned even if no one else understands it. 3. Pain is a natural part of growth. Pain isn't your enemy, it's the most honest teacher you'll ever meet. Everyone tries to escape it, avoid it, complain about it, yet it's inseparable from real change. You can't grow stronger without facing challenges. You can't learn without mistakes. You can't mature without walking through pain. Think of your body at the gym. When you lift heavy weights, your muscles tear microscopically. You feel exhausted, but over time they rebuild stronger. The pain wasn't an obstacle, it was the cause of your strength. The same happens in life. Every hardship sharpens you, deepens your perspective, and teaches patience. Most people see pain as a punishment, something to eliminate ASAP. But a true Stoic doesn't view it that way. They see it as a test to face, not flee. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the way," meaning what seems like a barrier is actually shaping you. Next time you're in pain, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I emerge stronger?" Life won't stop testing you, pain won't disappear. But your perspective on it determines whether you collapse or rise stronger than before. 4. Perfection is an illusion. Perfection is just that, an illusion. A concept the human mind invented but never finds in reality. When was the last time you saw something flawless? A person who never made mistakes? A perfect day without a single hiccup? You know the answer. It never happens. Yet so many chase this mirage, waiting for the day they become error-free, lacking nothing, failing at nothing. As if that moment holds the key to happiness. But the truth is entirely different. Happiness doesn't come from perfection. It comes from progress, despite your flaws. A true Stoic doesn't strive to be perfect. They strive to be better than they were yesterday, even if that improvement is small. Because perfection is a trap. It paralyzes you, keeps you stuck in hesitation, makes you fear mistakes more than you care about growth. Look around. The people who've achieved anything meaningful, were they perfect? Did they never fail? Number their stories are full of falls, missteps, and botched attempts. The difference between them and those who stayed stagnant? They didn't wait to be perfect before moving. They didn't say, "I'll start when I'm 100% ready." They said, "I'll start now," and learn along the way. Seneca, one of history's greatest Stoics, put it bluntly, "While we wait for life, life passes us by." How many times have you told yourself, "I'll begin once I master this completely," only to watch months or years slip by without starting? "I'll do it when I feel totally prepared," only to realize nothing changed because you were waiting for something that would never come. Life doesn't wait for you to be perfect before it begins. Success doesn't wait for you to be flawless before it arrives. The world doesn't care if you're ready or not. You either move forward despite your imperfections or you stay put, forever mourning a perfection that will never exist. The goal isn't to be mistake-free. It's to accept mistakes as part of the journey, to see them as opportunities for growth, not proof you're not enough. So if you're waiting for the perfect moment, let me tell you this: it will never come. But the right moment? It's always here. It's now. 5. You can't get time back. You own one thing in this life that can never be regained, no matter what you do, no matter how rich you are. Every other loss can be replaced. Money, relationships, opportunities, even health, to some extent. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. Yet it's the thing we waste most without thinking. We spend hours hesitating, worrying about the future, regretting the past, or drowning in trivialities, as if we have an unlimited supply, as if we're guaranteed to live forever. Seneca said it best: "It's not that we have little time, but that we waste so much of it. The problem isn't life's brevity, it's how we use it. We squander it waiting for the right moment, chasing things we don't need, postponing dreams, postponing life itself. How often have you said, 'I'll start later. I'll do it when conditions are better'? Here's the hard truth. Ideal conditions never come. The future you're delaying for will arrive faster than you think, but you might reach it having done nothing worth remembering. You don't feel time's value while you have it, only when you've lost it. So don't ask, how much time do I have? Ask, how will I use it? Because every second that passes is a piece of your life you'll never reclaim. A Stoic doesn't obsess over the past, it can't be changed, or drown in future fears, it hasn't come. They know the only moment they truly own is now, and they invest it wisely. No regrets, no waiting. If you understand this, you'll never say, I have time later. You'll realize every second that slips away takes a piece of your life with it, a piece that won't return. The choice is yours. Will you let time drain like it's worthless? Or will you treat it like the most precious thing you own? 6. Failure isn't the end. It's the starting line failure, the word so many fear. The word that stops people before they begin or makes them quit at the first obstacle. But it's also the word that separates an ordinary life from an extraordinary legacy. Most see failure as an end point, proof they're incapable, untalented, or unlucky. They fall once and assume they can't get up. But think of anyone who's achieved greatness. What's their common thread? They failed, they stumbled, they messed up, but they didn't stop. Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, failed over 1,000 times before succeeding. When asked about those attempts, he didn't call them losses. He said, I didn't fail. I found 1,000 ways that don't work. That's the difference between those who move forward and those who stay stuck. The first sees failure as a step. The second sees it as a wall. Why do people fear failure so much? Because they've tied their self-worth to outcomes. If they succeed, they feel valuable. If they fail, they feel worthless, as if their entire being is defined by one result. The Stoics saw this clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, your success or failure doesn't define you, how you handle it does. Success doesn't mean you're unbeatable. Failure doesn't mean you're incapable. Both are just temporary results. When you fail, you have two choices. Let it destroy you, let it teach you. The average person quits. The one who understands life sees failure as a mentor. They ask, what went wrong? What can I learn? How can I come back stronger? Failure reveals your weaknesses. It forces you to rethink, improve, and adapt. But most importantly, it proves you're trying. The only people who never fail are those who never try, who live too afraid to take risks, avoid every challenge, and flee from anything that might make them feel vulnerable. If you fear failure, you really fear growth. Because every major success, every real progress, every profound change passes through failure first. Final sections on solitude and control coming in next message. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments so far. Continue 7. Solitude doesn't mean you're alone. Loneliness is a heavy word, one many people fear. They run from it in any way they can, drowning themselves in crowds, filling their days with shallow conversations, clinging to meaningless relationships, all to avoid a single moment of silence with themselves, as if being alone with their thoughts is a danger to be avoided at all costs. But let me ask you this, are you truly alone, or are you just afraid to be with yourself? There's a massive difference between being alone and feeling lonely. You can be surrounded by people, friends, family, a crowded room, and still feel empty inside, like a stranger in your own life. Or you can be completely alone yet at peace, whole, needing no one to validate your existence. The difference isn't in how many people are around you, it's in the relationship you have with yourself. A person who doesn't know how to be comfortable in their own skin will always search for someone else to fill the void inside. And if they find that person, they'll cling to them, fear losing them, make them the center of their happiness. But what happens when they leave? Their world crumbles because their entire sense of self depended on another. A Stoic doesn't see solitude as punishment, but as an opportunity, a chance to strengthen their mind, to discover what they truly want in life. They don't seek others to escape themselves. They choose who adds value to their life without needing anyone to feel complete. Seneca put it bluntly, "If you feel lonely when you're alone, you're in bad company." Think about that. How can you be in bad company when it's just you? Simple. If you can't stand being with yourself, the problem isn't the absence of others, it's your relationship with yourself. People come and go. That's inevitable. No one stays forever, not family, not friends, not even the closest person to you. So if you don't learn to be happy with yourself, you'll never find happiness anywhere else. A Stoic doesn't fear solitude because their strength comes from within, not from external validation. They don't need constant noise to feel alive. They can sit in silence, unshaken, without needing to prove anything to anyone. So ask yourself honestly, can you be alone without feeling restless? Can you spend a day without filling the silence with distractions? If the answer is no, then it's time to become your own best friend. 8. What you can't control. Shouldn't control you think of every time you've gotten angry over something outside your control. Someone insulted you, you felt bitter. Your plans fell apart. You spiraled into frustration. The weather ruined your day, you resented it. Did you have any power over these things? Could you have stopped the insult, controlled the weather, forced life to go exactly as planned? The problem isn't that these things happened, it's that you let them control you. You allowed them to dictate your mood, steal your energy, and occupy your mind more than they deserved. And that's the fatal mistake most people make. They direct their energy toward things they can't change, while neglecting the one thing they fully control, their reaction. Imagine two men in a marketplace. A stranger suddenly screams insults at them. The average man loses his temper, yelling back, maybe even fighting. The Stoic man pauses and asks, "Will my anger change anything? Will shouting make this person respect me? Is this worth my peace?" If the answer is no, he walks away. Not because he's weak, but because he's strong enough to choose his battles wisely. A true Stoic doesn't surrender their calm easily. They know life will constantly throw things at them, frustrations, hurts, setbacks. But they refuse to let temporary emotions dictate their life. This doesn't mean they're emotionless. It means they're not enslaved by emotions. They see things as they are, not as they wish them to be. They accept that the world won't always go their way, but that's no reason to abandon their inner stability. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayals, and plagues, yet he never let them break him. He wrote in Meditations, "If it's not in your control, why let it steal your peace?" That's the core lesson here. You can't control the world, but you can always control yourself. You can't force people to treat you fairly, but you can choose how you respond. You can't prevent chaos, but you can remain steady in it. Like a rock unshaken by the storm. Final choice. These aren't just ideas to read and forget. These are laws for living, for anyone who wants true freedom. Now you have a choice. Ignore these truths and stay as you are. Start applying them today. The decision is yours.